Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with a mix of legal advice and just no HOA stories. If you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel to join our awesome community, and without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Insane HOA Banned Freedom of Speech. If you have ever dealt with an HOA, you just know how damn difficult they can be. I live in a neighborhood that had an HOA at the time this story took place. I am also one of the main admins of a private Facebook group for our neighborhood. In the group we will discuss neighborhood events, safety updates and concerns, missing pets, etc. It's really just a place where the neighborhood can come together and everyone can be a part of the local community. Last year, when board elections for the HOA took off, the comments and posts made by the residents of the neighborhood were a little more heated than normal. Residents were stating their opinion on certain board members, how the board spends money, and just general discussion and disagreements. None of the comments were downright disrespectful or full of hate speech or anything, it was just residents expressing disagreements about the HOA. Shortly after this whole ordeal went down, I received a letter in the mail from a law firm representing the HOA. They wanted me to take down the comments that had anything negative to say about the HOA board, or they would fine me $125 every day and take away access to community amenities. Not only that, but other residents of the neighborhood got similar letters stating that they would also be fined up to $125 if they did not remove their comments and posts that framed the board members in a negative light. First of all, this was clearly an overreach by the HOA. The Facebook page is not even run by the HOA and it is a private page. This means that nobody is accepted into the group unless they are proven residents of the neighborhood. So, anything that was being posted and framing board members in a negative light was not public info. Hell, if they wanted to disagree with their neighbors or even me, it was their right to express that as long as they were being respectful. Second, I felt that if any of the residents disagreed with the HOA, it was their right to express their opinion. Third, the HOA was asking me to censor the voice of 650 residents. This was not right. This was the HOA. And it was a major reach by the HOA, and they did not have any authority to tell us what to do with our private Facebook page. Not only that, but we had found out that the HOA president was using funds from HOA fees in order to pay for all the legal costs associated with this. There is a lot of building tension between the neighborhood residents and the HOA because of everything that was going on. A lot of people refused to pay the fee because we were not even sure if it was legal for the HOA to do this. A couple of weeks went by and people were still receiving letters in the mail. Not only that, but they contained some threatening language too. Because of all the attention that was building, the HOA board had a closed-door meeting with their attorneys. Some of the residents were so fed up that they held a protest outside of the meeting demanding answers. Of course, no real answers were given to us. After the closed-door meeting, some residents in the neighborhood actually started a petition to have the HOA president and certain board members removed. The petition was posted on the Facebook page and was gaining signatures pretty rapidly. Of course, word got around the board found out about the petition. After they found out about the petition, they sent out new letters that completely contradicted and retracted all of their previous statements. But of course, this was not enough. Even though they retracted their statements, they did not even have the balls to apologize to us and offer back the money that some people did spend on their fees. Most refused to pay the fee, so we kept the petition circulating, and soon enough, the board definitely felt the pressure. After a couple of weeks after the petition was circulated and everyone in the neighborhood was still talking about it, the HOA president not only voluntarily resigned, but he even moved out of the neighborhood. We were also able to vote in a new HOA president of our choice, and some of the board members ended up resigning as well. The board also issued refunds in the form of a check to those that did pay the fee. Bless their hearts. Even though the HOA is a pain in the butt regardless, I was happy that we could at least choose who our new president was going to be. So far they have been a less pain in our butt than the previous guy. Beggars cannot be choosers, right? And yeah, Ripe Stars, that is at least some positive news in the end. But I suppose if the neighborhood would have all bonded together like in similar stories, then they might have even taken the HOA to court, and they definitely could have won. Because what the HOA did here was definitely illegal if you ask me. A guy drove off with my couch while I was moving in because
if it is on the street corner, it is public property.
I just moved Nevada and it was just me and a couple friends unloading, so we left some things on the street next to the moving truck while we did heavier items like desks, shelves, etc. as a team. I came out after bringing in some more boxes, had been gone roughly 15 minutes to find a guy had loaded my couch into the bed of his truck. I ran up to him and explained I own the couch. He said since it was on the street corner, it is public property and he is within his rights to take it. He drove off before he could block his car. I did get his license plate and went to the police to make a report, but they asked me if it was in fact on the curb and I said it was, but it was also pretty obviously next to a moving truck. It was wrapped up and surrounded by boxes, and I told him it was mine and I was moving. But the police didn't say anything that inspired hope. The couch has been in the family 3 generations now, and while it probably isn't worth more than a few $100, it is sentimentally priceless. Is there anything else I can do or further ways to escalate this to get my couch back? And some users in the comments suggested, make the report, keep pestering the cops. Yes, it is theft, escalate within the PD. Abandoned property is one thing, but the circumstances here clearly indicate that it is not abandoned. And another user said, outside of filing a police report and providing the information, such a description of the driver, the license plate and description of the vehicle, the only other avenue I can think of is hiring a private investigator to go look for the guy, but that is going to be prohibitively expensive. And guys, do you have any pieces of furniture that hold a sentimental value for you? What would you do if someone would just steal that piece of furniture while you were moving houses? Let us know in the comments. And by the way, as I mentioned before, recently I moved away from northern Thailand and I will soon be moving to Bangkok. So in case, but I don't really think that is the case, there are any viewers in Bangkok, please let me know in the comments and maybe we can meet up. Update to the couch story. Thank you to the user who suggested I look in the Facebook marketplace. I found it in there and got the name of the man who took it. I took that information to the police and the man had other complaints of petty theft against him. Even better, one of the people who helped me move realized my neighbor has a video doorbell and I was able to get proof to the cops that the man stole my couch with me, standing right there with a moving truck and boxes. A friendly officer went to his house and got my couch back, as well as a few other stolen outdoor furniture pieces. One was a bench from a local restaurant. I don't know the other situations. I deeply appreciate your legal advice. I now won't have to tell my parents the beloved multi-generational couch is gone. Cheers. And Ripe Stars, I'm curious, have you ever used Facebook Marketplace? When I was living in Europe, honestly, I never used the Facebook Marketplace, but here in Thailand it is really popular and it is actually pretty good. In fact, I actually bought my motorcycle on the Facebook Marketplace, after then meeting up with the seller, of course. You can definitely get some good bargains here on Facebook. And the next one is titled, Husband surprised me with a divorce, cleaned out bank accounts and shut off credit cards. How can I find an attorney with no money? Tonight when my husband got home from work, he informed me he wants a divorce and will be leaving until it is done. This is not a huge surprise, honestly. Ever since our daughter was born, we have just not been getting along. What is the surprise is its suddenness. I have been a stay-at-home mom since our daughter was born 2 years ago. It just didn't make sense to work and spend 90% of what I made on daycare. So, in talking to him before he was finished packing, he told me,
"Good luck with the mortgage and bills. I've taken my money out of our bank account and turned off your card on my credit."
I would say I was shocked, but I am really not. He's very mean when he's angry and never has seemed to connect with his daughter. He wanted a boy, and from the day we got the word we were having a daughter, he has been distant. I obviously need an attorney. I logged into our bank account, sure enough, it is at $5. What resources can I begin looking into to get an attorney for free to help at least make him pay the bills and food until I can find childcare and a job? Is there anything I can do myself with the courts that is semi-quick to at least have him pay for the necessities since he cleaned out our joint account, or at least money for an attorney? I understand it is all his money, but we are married with a child. I don't see how he can just leave us with nothing all of the sudden. I am in Wisconsin. I've tried to Google up the best I could since the little one went to sleep, but I cannot find what I am looking for or even really know what I'm looking for. Thanks for anyone who helps. And a user in the comments suggested, contact your local or state bar association. You are not the first person to have this sort of thing happen, and they will have resources to help you get legal representation and also help with other financial matters. Also, if you have bills coming due, would be worth talking to creditors to let them know what is going on. If your husband is on those bills too, his credit will also take a hit from not paying. Within that framework, it would be in his best interests not to leave you high and dry. And another user suggested, see if your state has legal aid. I work in an office that handles family law, and your ex just screwed himself over so hard. Judges look very harshly on this kind of behavior, especially when children are involved. Update to the surprise divorce story. I was not able to get much done over the weekend except sell the wedding ring for some food/diaper money. Today, however, was really busy. I spoke to a few people I was able to get in contact with through legal aid. I am told by the end of the week I should be with an attorney who can begin helping me file everything I need to begin doing and hopefully begin tracking down where he has put all the money and get some back so I can continue to survive until I can be approved for childcare through state benefits and begin working again. I am really surprised about how often this happens. There are entire places dedicated to helping men and women who have their wives/husbands do this to them. I am filing for divorce before he can hopefully, and for the return of the money into our account, and in order to continue assisting with bills, child support and other necessities such as diapers, mortgage, etc. I probably will not have another update to this for a good long time, but so many people wanted to make sure I was going to be okay, and with everyone's advice to contact legal aid, etc., it looks like it hopefully might get better soon. I also contacted the bank and other bills that are coming up that I won't make and explained the situation. They are somewhat understanding, and hopefully I will be back at work soon to keep current. Thanks for everyone's help and advice. Another update to the surprise divorce story. I did all the lawyer stuff they needed, providing things like bank statements to prove the money situation and everything, and we did the filing with the court. Turns out he did quit his job, and before he left tried to make things worse by removing his card from the bills that he could, and had the cell phone bill go to a paper bill instead of paperless, and tried a few others, but when they wouldn't let him, it now makes sense why he cancelled his credit card and mine. The bill still comes, but since those were in his name, I guess I don't need to worry about that just yet. Now the bad news, sadly, since they don't know where he is, nothing really changes at all, and now I have to wait and see what happens. There is another date over a month away to start the divorce, but apparently that is going to become an issue too, since he needs to be found or we wait longer again from what I was told. One final fun thing I'm pretty certain he did, but they won't tell me, is I had 2 CPS people show up and inform me of allegations that I cannot take care of my kids/provide diapers or food. Once I explained it all to them and showed them what I had from my lawyer, they seemed to just let it be. I guess partners trying to use them as a way to harass the other is not anything new to them, except they will be still checking in apparently to make sure. And by the way guys, I totally forgot to say, if you have watched until here and enjoy legal advice stories, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments, and I would be extremely grateful if you could also like the video if you enjoy my content. Thank you so much in advance. And another update to the surprise divorce story. So it's been an extremely rough couple of months and seems to only keep getting worse, honestly, and I am sad to say that there's no happy ending here. I did not even want to do an update, but so many people seem to be interested in the original and the updates. So where to start? Still haven't found him, and the legal help I have is really great, but they are also very overworked and the resources needed to track him down just take time to get and more time to find him. As a final parting gift, it seems he claimed our kid on his taxes from last year so he could get that tax credit. I was hoping we could track him down that way, but again, sometimes that takes time and resources. Which technically, since he was the one working and did live with us for over 6 months of the year, he is technically entitled to in a legal sense. The bank was somewhat kind of understanding during the holidays, but the calls are getting to the point where I am fairly certain they will begin foreclosure soonish. I really don't know that for certain, but when you don't pay a mortgage for 4+ months, they get kind of upset and the circumstances don't matter. Finally managed to get on Snap for food and it helps a lot, but it is crazy how quickly you realize how much food you eat and your kid eats before, when money didn't really matter for necessities like food, soap, water bills and electricity. I managed to get a job that somewhat works for childcare hours, but you quickly start to realize childcare costs as much as you make, so it is like working so you can pay you have your kid watched. Trying to avoid paying all the bills attached to the house I can, so I can save up enough to hopefully get us the smallest, cheapest apartment around and keep working. Sorry for the negative update everyone, but it is just life, I guess. Unless things extremely and drastically change for the better, this will be the last update. I will keep doing my best of course, and thanks for all the kind words in the other posts about the other updates. And the next one is titled, "My father refuses to give me my social security number, work permit or let me go to college outside of my local area." I am 17, female, not sure where else to post this or where this would even fall in Reddit, but I thought this was somewhat fitting here. If it matters, I live in VA, I also have DACA if that matters as well. My father is a controlling person, he has abusive tendencies. Things like that. In the beginning of my senior year, he neglected to fill out my FAFSA form many times, even after being asked by myself and school coinciding. He has openly denounced my going to college outside our local area. He refuses to help me or give me any form of documentation in order for me to fill out any form of college applications by myself, any work applications, basically rendering myself useless. It has been a cycle of this for the past 7 months, me asking him about my documentation, any steps I want to take towards college, having him help me fill out the required information for me to go to college, because as a minor I need his tax info, etc. And then having him either blatantly ignore me and shooting me and my ideas down, saying it is too much money and I'm not going to be able to do it outside the local area. It has gotten very tiring, hopeless, to the point I genuinely want to give up, because my other family members are as unsupportive about my endeavors as he is. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to go to college or do any of the things that I would like to do. I would like to become an interior designer if that matters either, getting a job even, as he refuses to allow me to get a job too. I want to know about any sort of ideas you all might have, anything at all. What kind of steps would I have to take in order to get my documents by myself once I turn 18, if legally I'm allowed to have it or entitled to it, if he still refuses to give it to me at that point? What kind of ground do I have against my father? Any input is honestly great at this point. I don't want anything more than just to get my things and go to college. Everything feels rather pointless though. It seems like I have no options anymore and I just cannot handle it. I'm not sure what to do anymore, as my senior year is quickly coming to a close. I feel like I need to act fast, living with him is unbearable, and college was my one-way ticket out. College is where I feel I could thrive and truly be myself and accomplish my goals in life. Any help is good help at this point. Edit for those in the comments, I do indeed have a work permit that I've seen, but he refuses to let me actually have it. As well as my SSN card, it is all valid, but the problem is, he won't allow me to have it in my possession, and I'm afraid once I turn 18, it will still be that way as how it was for my brother, and I will just be stuck in a horrid loop/cycle. But believe me, these papers exist. I've had to renew my work permit recently actually. I hope this clears up things and is more useful information. But seeing all your comments so far, it is helpful truly. And people in the comments said, in terms of the FAFSA, if there is a local school your father approves of you attending, you can have him fill it out using the ID number of that school. If you want to apply to other schools, you won't need to have him fill it out again. Those additional schools can pull the original FAFSA you submitted. So if you play along and pretend to be interested in a school he approves of, that FAFSA application will work for the schools you are actually interested in as well. And another person asked, is your father illegal? That may be why he doesn't want to fill out the forms or let you move away. Once you turn 18, you can get a job anywhere you like and pay for school yourself. Your dad would also be free to tell you to move out after that. And then OP commented, I'm not quite sure what his status is in this country, as he doesn't like to talk about it much at all. A sore spot to him for some reason. But my plan now is to just try and stick it out once I am 18, enroll as an independent student and just try to make it out that way. The problem is, he does not let go of those documents without a fight. The same thing happened to my brother. He asked for his documentation and everything, and my dad got into a heated verbal altercation with him, refused to give his documentation at first, and then my brother threatened him with cops, and only then did he budge and give him his documents. And then proceeded to kick him out of the apartment. And that is not the direction in which I want to go, so I am sticking with my plan for now. Update to the social security number story. Hey all, just wanted to say thank you and let you all know about the developments of my situation. I took the more passive route from all the comments I had gotten and jotted down helpful notes in regards to my status in this country, to get financial help, etc. Learned that I came to America when I was 3 months old, which was shocking. I digress. I talked to my mom, father and my brother. We all came to the agreement of me starting out in community college, and my father would prefer it if I stay in town, more so demanding me to transfer to a local university. But thank you to the commenter who suggested I just roll with what my dad wants. That was an incredibly helpful bit of advice, and everyone essentially gets what they want at first. I will be going to college and most likely getting a job. So thank you Reddit, you all have genuinely brought me out of a hopeless situation. It took a good bit to talk to my father calmly about this, but it all is much appreciated. Thank you. Water company is trying to say a family of 2 used 46,800 gallons of water. What are my options? My wife and I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. We don't have any children and we only have dogs in the house with us. Towards the end of October, we got our water statement from the city of St. Pete that says we owe them $973 for our water usage that month, and that we used 46,800 gallons of water. Our previous statements were 4,400 gallons on May 9th until June 9th, 4,800 gallons in June until July, and 9,400 gallons from July until August. We had family over, so we attributed the high water to them being there. However, the meter reading was 655,100. From August until September, we had apparently used 7,000 gallons. Due to Hurricane Irma, they had to estimate the usage and it was lower than last month's bill, so I did not think too much of it. So it is possible that the water bill included this month too, but there's no way of knowing. Estimated meter reading 662,100. And then, from September until October, we supposedly used 46,000 gallons of water, meter reading 708,900. This throws up a red flag for me and I call them up. They tell me that yes, it is a high bill and that they had someone come out and check the meter again to verify the meter reading, and they said that the meter is still the same. The water company sends out people every month to check the water meter, and they say that they only estimate the usage if something happens, for example a hurricane. So I go back and forth with them, saying that it is ridiculous to think that a family of 2 that do not have a sprinkler system, don't have a pool, and do not use the dishwasher would use that much water. In addition to the fact that we were gone for a week in September due to evacuating the area. The water representative then tells me that I should check to see if there is a small water leak and that they will postpone the bill. So I go home and turn off the water and record the number and check again in 2 hours. Nothing changed, the leak detector is not moving. I check the toilets too with food coloring and it is good to go. So the next step is to check if the meter is busted. So they replaced my meter on 27th October and took the old one back. We set the appointment up on 17th November last week and the meter is validated as an accurate meter. We called our landlord and explained the situation and she sent out her handyman to do that same check I did and he said that same thing I did. We got our bill for last month and it says we used 1,100 gallons for the period from 9th October until 27th October with the old meter and they don't have the new meters reading on there yet. So even if I average the water usage for those days, it is about 61 gallons per day, which is half of the daily usage that it was before, and we have not changed our daily water usage. St. Pete had done some water work sometime after the 14th of September in front of our house. They dug and cut some pipes, but they say that it should not affect our water bill. We don't remember the exact dates they came, but they had left the hole there for over a week before closing it up and they left their caution signs in our yard still. We took pictures of the hole filled up and the signs they left. Talked to our neighbors about the high bill, but they have not had anything change in their water bills. I don't know what to do at this point. I am positive that myself or my wife or dogs did not use that much water, and if we had a leak, I would like to think that we would see a 5-foot deep 25 by 45 inches pool in our yard. What does Legal Advice have for me? Because I could pay the bill, but this is not something I really want to spend $1,000 on. Our bill is not due until 8th December. Update number 1, I tried to contact the city council, but no one answered. So I sent an email stating everything I have said in this thread to the city council distro list and the city council member that deals with my district. They responded saying that they forwarded the message to the director of billing and will get back to me soon. Also, my wife called St. Pete Water to find out more about the water work done in front of our house, and they say they don't have a record of it, but that could be because it is still an open case. I figure the first manager I talked to would put a note in or something, since she found it after a couple of days. Update number 2, the utilities department called me today. Funny how fast they were able to get all the information to me the day after I sent the email. To tell me the council reached out to them. She informed me of a couple of things. First off, that is a lot of water to be used. Second, the hole that they dug is in front of our house, but it was for work on my neighbor's water, so it does not affect our house at all. Third, they had the supervisor come and check my meter and recorded the number and waited 2 hours and said he did not see a leak either. So now the next step is to present my information to the appeals court kind of thing, where they will advise the mayor on what to do. Either do nothing and I am stuck with the bill, or they will take pity on me. Next time they are meeting is in January, so she advised me to just pay my normal water bill and that it won't affect me in the long run. I will update you guys in a couple of months. I really appreciate all the advice you gave. And now we will read an update to the water company's story. Good news everyone, after emailing our city council, we were given a date to go to the utility board committee meeting to plead our case. Today was our date, and when we walked up there, they took a look at our case and almost immediately said that it was extremely high. So they decided to average the bill to the previous month's bills, so it will only say we used 5,100 gallons of water versus 46,800 gallons. Turns out there were a lot of other people there doing the same thing for the same time frame, but ours was one of the higher end cases there. Weird thing is that now that my water bill for the last couple of months after that has been only 2,500 gallons of water, I am moving from this place, but this has been a roller coaster, so I am happy to finally get off. Thank you, LegalAdvice, for your recommendations, it really helped us out. And Ripe Stars, with this we have reached the end of the video. However, if you still cannot get enough of my content, then I would highly suggest to check out my endless binge watch playlist, which will soon show up in the left corner of the screen. In addition, I would really appreciate it if you could not only subscribe to the channel, but also turn on the bell notifications, which you can do by clicking on the little bell icon right next to the subscribe button. This will help my channel tremendously, and this will make sure that you don't miss any of my videos. Furthermore, if you want to see additional Ripe content that I don't post on YouTube, then I would suggest to head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube for more than 50 exclusive videos that you will not see anywhere else. Thank you so much for your amazing daily support, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.